Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Bright Future Fridays. It's our third one. How's everyone doing? Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, is it just me?
Someone, yeah, right now. Someone else is coming.
Okay, cool. I'm Hillary Clausen. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Baltimore, Maryland.
All right, thank you. Let's get on with the questions.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your job that you do?
Sure. So I am a therapist, so I give hourly sessions to people, usually one time a week. I work with mostly adults, and I help people navigate difficult experiences, change their mindsets, practice and um, maintain and practice new patterns, and just work towards their goals to make their life better.
Okay, that's great. So, really, what made you choose this career field? Was it something that you've always wanted? Was this your dream job, or did you have something else?
Good question. I had no idea I was going to be a therapist growing up. It wasn't something I thought about. I was really into art, and I went to college for painting and printmaking. So that was my major. And I also majored in international relations. So I had a double major. And then when I graduated, I worked more in international relations. So I worked in an office doing kind of program management things. And I really didn't like it. So I was thinking about a career shift when I was about 24. And I heard of something called art therapy, which is using art to help people heal themselves and to explore, different parts of their lives through art. And I was interested in that. So I went to grad school for art therapy and counseling. It was a dual major. And I love it. I think I've always really been interested in people and really curious about their lives. And so when I was unhappy in my early 20s, I was thinking, I've never studied psychology, but I think about the way I think and the way other people think all the time. So that might actually be a good fit.
Hmm. That's crazy. It's like I had no idea art therapy was a thing, but you really took your interest and like another interest and you put it together. It's like a real thing.
It is a real thing. I don't practice as much art therapy lately because I've been doing my sessions virtually since COVID. And I think to do personally, um, when I do art therapy, it's in person is how I do it, and I haven't really been able to translate it online. But that is how I started. Was like, I like, obviously art for me was very healing in my own life, and so I thought, that's kind of cool to be able to bring that to other people. And so yeah, that's how I wound up where I am.
Okay. Um, I wanted to ask you, what's the best part about your job?
Hmm. The best part about my job, I think I get to hear really, really interesting stories from people. I get to know parts of them, and I feel really honored to see people change and grow. And I feel really honored to get to see, yeah, sometimes parts that they don't show anyone else. I feel incredibly honored for that. And I'll just add, so that's probably my favorite part. But right now, I work on my own. So I have my own business, and I really like being able to set my own hours. That's been really nice.
So I'm guessing that you were like always a listener type.
I've always liked to listen. Yeah, I just find people really interesting.
Okay, I wanted to know, can you give us some tips on managing stress?
Sure. So managing stress, I think it's a really common problem. I have the problem too. So one thing to do is really to connect to your body, because when our mind is spinning with 10,000 different things, um, one way to get it off track is to get connected back to your body. So that's why things like breathing and mindfulness are such powerful tools. So if you're feeling really stressed, taking a moment to step away from the thing you're stressed about. So if you're doing homework or there's an issue in your house with someone, you can find a place to go where you're just alone, and then checking in with your body. You can do kind of stretches like lifting your shoulders up, but a body scan is helpful where you start at your feet and kind of wiggle your toes and just check in with, like, what do my feet feel like today? What do my knees feel like? That can help kind of you go down a different track in your mind other than whatever's stressing you out. Things like
You remind me like a lot of my mom. She has us do like these type of exercises too. I find them a little weird, but at least at least I know that they like work.
that.
Could
Well,
you?
they might not work for you, in which case you've got to find some other things. But that is so what you could try if those don't work is sometimes I'll have people splash cold water on their face or hold ice cubes. Again, it sounds weird, but when you're really stressed out, sometimes you just need something to make you think about something else. And if you're holding ice cubes, I guarantee you're not going to be able to think about whatever you're stressed about. You're going to be thinking like, oh my gosh, it's so cold.
I've never thought of that. That's like an insane method.
Yeah.
What is like a common misconception in your field?
Common misconception. I think, let's see. I think sometimes people believe change should happen really, really fast. I mean, and I understand, because if you're suffering and then you're in pain, you want it to happen really fast. You would like to wake up in a week and feel great. But the truth is, a lot of the patterns of thoughts and feeling that people have, they've been in place for years, right? So maybe if I'm always thinking negatively, I've been doing that for 20 years. It's going to take some time. Just like it took some time to install it, it's going to take some time to deinstall it. So, that's one expectation I try and set from the get go with my clients is like, I get why you want it to change really fast, but to be realistic, let's give it some time.
Um, I would say like I understand that it's like you can't be like a pro painter, a pro artist, a pro anything in like amount of time. It takes time for like your body and your mind and like these ways to change.
Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah. um, it's a practice, and if you're used to thinking about things in a certain way, you're exactly right. It takes a while to get into the practice of like, oh, maybe I don't have to catastrophize and think the worst thing is going to happen. Maybe there's other possibilities, and that takes a long time to kind of set into place.
Okay. Um. So how can we help end the stigma around talking about mental health?
How can we help end the stigma? I think I am personally really hopeful about this, because I've seen it change so much even since I was a kid and teenager, till now. Like, I think a lot more people are aware of mental health. You don't When I was a teenager, if somebody went to therapy, it was because something really, really severe was going on. And now I think that's not the case. People understand that, maybe I'm going through a really hard time, or there's something in my life that's kind of acute and really stressful. Maybe talking about it could be helpful. So I think honestly, I do give credit to the media. I think they've actually done a pretty good job of, depicting therapy as something more commonplace. I even do give credit to things like TikTok. There's some therapists who don't love TikTok because there can be some misinformation, but I personally think um, the more people are talking about it, the more normal it seems to be to people. And so seeing representation and being like, oh, like that person's my age and they're going through something similar and they're talking about it and they're saying therapy was helpful, like maybe I should give it a shot. So I think ending the stigma is continuing that. So like making it more mainstream. Um, I think, yeah, that's my answer. Mhm.
Can you give us some words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. I think that, give me a moment. I think it's okay because we're talking about career. It is more than okay if you don't know what you want to do. I think that was a huge pressure on me and many people is like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But oftentimes, I would say almost always, you have to try something in order to really know if this is your thing or not. So you could have it in your head, like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then you try it and it's not a good fit. And that's okay. How could you have known if you've never tried it? So as you get older, to just be aware, like, it's okay if your ideas about what your career is change. It's okay if you go after something and it's not what you thought, so you pivot to something else. And it's okay to try things and learn from them. And then that'll actually get you closer to finding a job that is meaningful and one that's a good fit.
Yeah, I resonate with that like so much. I remember I wanted to make beats just because I thought it was like a little easy, would look like really good on the resume. I went out, I actually tried it, and I was like horrible at it. I tried for like a few months, and I figured out that it's like not for me. But I like the humbling experience, even though it was a little stressful. So I have a question to ask you: how do you deal with stress?
How do I deal with stress? Um, I love hot baths. So if I'm really stressed at the end of a long day, I love to get in a bathtub and then shower because there's something about the heat that just forces me to relax my body. But talking about it, I think I'll call up a friend or my sister and just talk about the issue. That has always helped me. I've found that if I keep things inside, I the stress just amplifies more and more and more. So talking about it is helpful. I like to go on walks with my dog, getting outside and just being around people, even if they're strangers. It again forces me to kind of get outside my head where all the stress is. So anything like that is pretty helpful. I don't always do them. I'm not perfect, but when I'm dealing with stress in a healthy way, those are the things.
Me usually I take a walk. I just love walking, even if it's like around the house and like a certain pattern. I just do that over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe sometimes I listen to music, it just clears my head.
Yeah, yeah, that's
What
one
about
of
you
my
two?
favorite things.
It's music with me.
Mhm.
Music.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, and also like probably just like what is it? Probably like exercising. I would
Oh
say
yeah,
that
that too.
also helps me.
What kind of exercise do you like to do?
I mostly do stretches, like mostly just like touch the toes and jumping jacks and stuff like that. That's
Mhm.
mostly all I do.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, things to get you connected to your body again too. Mhm.
So other questions.
Do you have any questions for us?
I have so many questions for you guys. I'm just interested in like what are you all interested in right now as far as like your favorite activities or hobbies or even things you think like maybe I could do this as a career one day or maybe I'd like to try this, try to make money from this. Do you have
Um,
on your mind?
I would say generally probably I've been trying to work out like Adobe products, whether it be like Illustrator or Premiere Pro. That
Mhm.
looks really good on the resume as well. I'm pretty good with tech, so I'm trying to learn like all these things. I have learned the Python programming language, which I think I could do like really good with that because I've been doing it for so many years, along with graphic design.
That's awesome. Yeah. What about you two?
Oh, I don't have any like serious hobby that I like to do so far, or like something that I'm really, really interested in. But um, I do like photography sometimes, like take pictures and stuff.
It's become so much well, like just with phones, the cameras on phones are so good that do you use your phone or do you have a camera as well?
Both. I use
Both.
both.
Mhm. I thought, because like I said, did art to begin with, and I was always painting. But I will spend good money on photography because I don't know how to do it. So I think it's really cool when people can capture something and it just looks so good. And every time I try, I'm like, this doesn't look like it does in real life. But so I think photography is a really cool skill to have.
It's more on landscape, like
Mhm.
of things than of people.
Yeah, but yeah, because like I'll want to take a sunset picture or something because it's so pretty, and then on my phone it's just like, oh, that's not what it really looks like. I would love to know how to make it look kind of how I want it, how it actually looks. But
Mm.
yeah. What about you?
I do volleyball. So now that the high school I'm going to try out for their team because I've been doing volleyball since I was like 12, I would say. But yeah, that's mostly all I do is just do volleyball. But I would looking forward to like doing more sports.
Yeah. So what high school are you going to, or have you already started at high school?
I'm going to Crystal Ray. That's
Okay.
it's a private school.
Do you all go to that school?
No, for me, I've graduated. I go to the University of Maryland.
Okay.
I go to city.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I was at Patterson Park in Baltimore last weekend and I saw there were all these volleyball courts going on, but I'd never seen it. The net was so high. And I didn't know if it was a certain type of volleyball or I don't know, it just looked really high. I was interested in
You
what
know
they
anything about that?
Some people mostly like put the net like really high unless to see like how far they can hit the ball mostly. But otherwise they only do that for practice to see
Oh,
how far they can hit it.
yeah, maybe that's what it was, but you could easily walk under it and there was still going to be like a foot or more above. And I guess I just hadn't seen it like that. What is, tell me about, is it Youth Works? Yeah, tell me about what you all are doing this summer for that.
Um, for us, we're there's various other jobs for us for the Youth Advisory Council. We usually do streams. That's like our main thing. We have Money Mondays where we got what was the company?
Um,
Cash Maryland. It was Cash Maryland. We got like trained by them to, teach these slides to other kids, add some flair onto it. And then we have work site Wednesdays where we go to like a youth works job that we went to Tuesday. We talk to the people like an actual interview on Wednesday, and we'll have people talking in the comments, like asking them questions. And Friday, Bright Future Fridays, what you're in right now. We talk to people who have like a lot of experience in the field, and people can ask questions if they want. It's just all to let kids know there's so much to do, and getting them interested in working.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you guys did a really good job, really interesting questions. So,
Mhm.
yeah, thank you.
Do you have any other questions?
No, no, I don't think so.
Well, then I guess that'll be all. See you all later. Thank you for watching this stream, and thank you for your participation. Have a great day every day. See you later.
Thank you all. Have a good summer.
you too.
You as
You too.
well.
Bye.